silver bells all seem to say, throw cares away. Ding dong ding dong, 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 ding dong ding dong. Ooh.
So, good morning, Merry Christmas. I hope if you haven't opened your presents so far, then you're pretty good. But if you have opened your presents, I hope you got wonderful things. I have an envelope here, which is the 25th stage of this murder mystery. I keep calling it a murder mystery. I don't know if I should be opening this at the beginning or the end, but I am going to unveil who the kidnapper, murderer, whatever is. I will stress, I'm being absolutely honest with you here, I do not know the official answer. So let's go over to the website. So as you see here, we have all the evidence that comes in day by day or whenever it comes in. And what I've been doing is copying these for you. This is why sometimes I may actually got them a little bit out of sync. Now here we have clues. Now there was no mention of when the clues should be read. I tried reading one, I think it was day 6, and I've decided I'm going to read them all. So for those of you that still don't know who the person is, let's have a look at the clues. So we have, when did Nick disappear? To discover who did Nick wrong, we first need to confirm when he was last seen. By creating a timeline of his movements, we can then create a timeline of the suspect's movements in order to compare the two. We've heard from various witnesses, but who is right and who is wrong? To be able to rely on a piece of evidence, we ideally need to have it backed up by an independent source. Focus on the statements of individuals who last saw Nick and compare their testimony to other evidence sources such as phone records and bank statements. This will confirm the time he came to harm. You do have a claim from a further witness who believes she may have been the last to see Nick. However, there is nothing to back up her testimony, and if you check the menu on the Daily Retriever, you'll see that she got the date of her sighting wrong. So that would be referring to Riley Abel, who we know got the date wrong because she saw him on fajita night and he went missing on pie and mash night. Clue 2. We know that Nick went missing around 4:30 p.m. Your next step should be to find out where each of the suspects were at that time. If they do not have an alibi at this time, then they are still suspects. It should be fairly easy to rule some of the suspects out. E.g., Johnny Bezel, the space flyer, will tell you where he was. We know he attended, as it is reported in his health issue occurred shortly after. We know he attended, as it is recorded that his health issues occurred shortly after leaving this venue. Mary, CCTV footage will help you here. The neighbours. Where are those boys? Can we rule them out yet, or is there more to come? So again, they've said those boys. I now think that Mulder and Scully was a same-sex marriage, and I wonder if they deliberately put that in there because you're thinking, they're gay, they're lovely, they won't do anything. So maybe that's to put you in or put you off. But I don't think it was the neighbours because I think they got married. Rudy, he may have been late for his curfew, but where was he earlier in the evening? Elf, we know from his appointment card where he usually is at this time on the day of the week. Is there anything that may have prevented this from happening? Have I missed something? Who's Elf? Anyway, clue 3. By now you should be down to 2 suspects. You can read in the answer why Johnny Bezel, Mary Kringle and Rudy Rainder were not involved, but now you must decide, was it the neighbour or the ex-employee Elf Edwards? Elf Edwards? That's it, Ed Fawkes. So I have been in the right direction all along then, because my three suspects have always been Heath and Tom and Ed Fawkes. So let's go to the answers. Let's go. So clue reveals where is Kris Kringle. Right. Suspect number 1, Mary Kringle. Motive: Mary is less than devoted to wife. Mary is a less than devoted wife of Nicholas. Years of never. Sorry, bear with me a sec. Sorry, I thought something happened then. Years of never being put first while he panders to everyone else's needs have taken their toll. She had dreams of a new life with Rudy and needed Nick out of the way. Alibi: despite breaking up with Rudy in the prison letters, the couple reunited once he was released. Rudy can be seen in the news footage of 14th of December heading to Mary's house. So that was the guy in the background. We then find that the adulterous pair were enjoying some alone time at the Imperial Hotel at the time Nick was taken. So she's innocent. Guilty or not guilty? Not guilty. Suspect number 2, Johnny Bezel. Johnny had not made it to the top of the Camaro tree without stepping on some toes or heads along the way. He fiercely protects his empire and made various efforts to stop Nicholas from giving away millions of gifts every year. Yeah, that was the toy thing, wasn't it? And I didn't know that was strong enough. Alibi: having recently returned from a little blast around space, Johnny was holding court in an exhibition at the National Space Centre at the time Nicholas went missing. A short time later he was rushed to hospital suffering from space cuties. His near-death experience has made him reflect on his greed, and he promises to donate half of his worth to charity next year. What a nice guy. Not guilty. Suspect number 3, Tom and Heath. I don't believe they did it. Their motive: Tom and Heath are living a life of misery due to the noise made by Nick's workshop, plus the smell and noise made by his team of reindeer. Alibi: the boys were it was a same-sex marriage. The boys were celebrating their marriage at the time of Nick's disappearance. They raised suspicions with the taxi driver, who misunderstood their proclamation that they had done it. However, they were only talking about getting married. And yeah, I say quite rightfully so. You get two boys get into the back of a taxi, where the town is talking about they weren't talking about it then, but they get into the back of a taxi and they say, we've done it, we've finally done it, now let's get away. And then a few days later you hear about someone going missing. Yeah, I think the last thing on your mind would be they just got married. So yeah, they're not guilty. So last suspect. No, there's 2 more suspects. Edward Lee Fawkes. Edward used to be Nick's right-hand man. He began dealing in prescription drugs in order to help Nick with the pain he suffered from long-term back problems. Sadly, this led to Edward being arrested and imprisoned. He believed incorrectly that Nick had snitched on him and blames him for ruining his life. Alibi: here is what happened. Check the next box if you're not sure how. Oh, we've got a video.
Or some fantastic news on the case of missing local man Kris Kringle. Thousands of amateur detectives have been following this case online and conducting all of their own investigations. These sleuths examined every bit of evidence they could and tracked down the person who made Nick disappear. We've also got some footage of when he was first arrested.
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. I just saw him in the alleyway and I lost my rag. He grasped me up one more time, hadn't he? And then I saw him walking around like he'd done nothing wrong, bold as brass. He'd even parked in my spot too. And before I knew it, there he was, unconscious, in the back of my car. I thought he was dead. And I didn't know what to do, so I took him up Beacon Park and just shoved him off the cliff. I didn't know he was alive. It's his fault anyway. I was getting in the drugs for his back, and then he grasped me up, calling me a drug dealer. Oh God, I hate him so much.
Well, it was Edward who took investigators back to the place that he last saw Nick and made the astounding discovery that he was still there and still alive.
Oh, I can hardly believe it myself. I mean, you know, there I was just putting some bits and pieces in my car, getting ready to go home. And the next thing I know, I'm waking up, sliding down a cliff. I managed to grab some foliage and stop myself from going off the edge, and then I sort of swung myself onto a ledge. But I've certainly dislocated this shoulder, I believe, and I've definitely broken my leg. Hurts like hell. And I mean, I was there on this ledge, crying out every day, calling out, "Help! Help!" But nobody heard me. I think it was the mild winter that saved my life. I sustained myself by drinking rainwater from leaves and nibbling on acorns and any bugs that came nearby. I don't know how long I was there for, but it seemed an eternity. Yes. Well, I'm very grateful that you rescued me, and I would like to say thank you to all those who were looking for me. I just wish you'd come a little sooner. But I'm very grateful to be alive. Oh, what more can I say? I just want to go home now. It's been a terrible ordeal. I just want to go home and rest.
So what about that? So it was definitely Ed Fawkes. Now I've got to be honest with you. When I flicked down too far and I saw Randolph and Suspect 5, I thought it was going to be him, because I thought this website would have listed all of the not guilty and then saved the guilty one for last. But let's read Ed Fawkes. We know Ed had an NA appointment at the time of Nick's disappearance. However, you might notice the venue's details. There's a story in the Daily Retriever detailing this venue being suddenly closed and all meetings cancelled until further notice. I actually missed that, to be absolutely honest with you. We can see from the map that Ed would be in the same location as Nick and unexpectedly at a loose end at the time of his disappearance. So let's humour this. Suspect number 5 is not coming up. There we go. Randolph. Randolph is the other man. He is willing to do whatever it takes to win the affection of Mary Kringle. Aha! This included calling Nick to let him know of the affair and coming round to the Kringle's address as soon as he was released from prison. Randolph was entertaining Mary in a room at the Imperial. Oh, I thought that man was it is Randolph. Yes, it's Randolph. So that's who Mary was having an affair with, yes. And he is not guilty. Wonderful. Right, so it is time for me to open my little present. Let's see what I have received for cracking the case. Yeah, I was right. What happened with you guys? Did you guess, or did you come to a different conclusion? So, do not open till 25th of December. I want to know what that is. I keep feeling it. We have got Cold Case Investigation Unit. Wishing you a wonderful Christmas and the most amazing New Year from Cold Case Investigation Unit. Now, I will be honest with you, because of the time that I'm filming this is my very first Christmas card of the year, and I have received, oh look, I've won a little badge. I shall wear that with honour, and that is what I've got. I am a detective in the Cold Case Investigation Unit. Guys, so I hope you've enjoyed this little mystery. That poor guy, fancy being pushed down a cliff when he was still alive. He was probably already in pain and that anyway. So what I'd like to know from you guys is, did you enjoy this? Is it something that you would like me to do again next year? I quite enjoyed it. Last year we built a little model, and it was fun, but there were like good bits and bad bits about it. This bit, I could see that they were slowing it down in places, because obviously if you keep chucking evidence for 24 days, it's going to become too, you know, if you crack the case within about 3 days, the next 21 days are going to be quite boring. So tell me what you thought of this. I really enjoyed it. I'd love to do another one next year. It comes from, the website is coldcaseinvestigations.com. I actually bought this from a company called Not on the High Street. I would certainly buy another one. I really did enjoy it. So just leaves me to say happy Christmas. Now I've got a series starting tonight at 6 o'clock, which is a 12-day series, and it's called the 12 Days of Epic Starter Sets. Now, last year I tried to do a 12 Days of Craftmas, but I tried so hard and I couldn't do it. Maybe I needed more planning. So this year I'm building 12 Airfix starter sets, and I'm going to be building up each day. So today you're going to see me do a build, and it's just going to be purely out of the box, and then it's going to be designed as your modeling journey. So if you've never modeled before, this is how you do the first kit. And then the next one, stage 2, is another kit, but we just add in a little bit of something that you might find useful to become a slightly better modeler, and then we add in something every day until we get to the 12th day, when hopefully the day 12 is got different bits of equipment to help you model, and we build something absolutely superb. So thank you for watching this series, and I will catch you later. Bye bye.